Hi, it's Mitz from My Life Mitz. Thank you so much for being here. Today I want to do a fun little DIY or fun little project. I am curious to know what you do with your blank pages in your notebooks. Do you just let them be? Do you fill them in until all the pages are written on? I'm very curious to know. I am the type that I'm not bothered by empty pages, but at the same time I feel like there could be more use for those empty pages. So what I've decided to do is I've actually cut some of the pages out from my notebooks that I'm not using anymore. These are from my notebooks from last year, from 2020, and a lot of the pages in the back are kind of left blank, and so I decided to kind of tear them out. Just be careful that you don't tear them out right at the center of the body, like the center of the spine. You just kind of have to leave a bit of space. So you can see there, I just kind of cut, I just left a little bit of space. I didn't cut right at the edge or right in the middle, because if I were to cut in the middle, there's a possibility that the binding would come loose, and I didn't want that to happen. So I just left a little space at the spine, and then I just cut that off. So if you are like me and you want to make use of your notebooks fully, then I think this project is a little fun. It's fun for your kids too. They can doodle on them as well. And let's see if there's any. I could probably use some of these ones here, so I'll share with you. I'll just cut these off and share with you what I plan on doing with these blank pages. So with that done, I thought it would be fun to take out some stamps and stamp out some images on these blank pages, and I've already done that to cut down on time. So you can see here I've stamped out a bunch on, just like, this is from the Nolte. This one is from the Hobonichi Cousin. This is also the Hobonichi, sorry, not the Hobonichi Cousin, the Hobonichi Weeks. And yeah, it just, even like the pages that I don't use, like these printed pages with the Japanese information, I don't really use, and so this one is part of it, so I wouldn't cut that out. But yeah, like even these pages, I decided to cut them out because I don't really use them. You can see I did a whole bunch there in the middle or near the end, but I think it's kind of fun to stamp on like an image on top of that and use that as collage elements, and just take out some of your stamps and you can stamp. And like the kids love stamping, they just love like inking things up and just like going to town, and I think it's so much fun to do with the kids at home. But yeah, so this is like Nolte paper. This is the Stalogy that I just ripped out. This one is the one I just ripped out, but this one is the Stalogy, the Hobonichi Weeks. So I did a whole bunch of stamping, and if you're curious to know how I would use one, like let's see, for example, there's one that I've already cut out somewhere here. So for example, this one this stamp is from London Gifties. It's a really pretty stamp, and if you're curious on how I would use it, I think I actually did already. Oh yeah, see, I did one over here. Right here, it's so pretty. And if you don't want to write on top of it, or sorry, if you do want to write on top of it, you can always do like a second generation stamp. So the ink color is not so vivid or vibrant. You can stamp on one page and then do like a second generation stamp so that the ink would be a little bit faded, and then you can use that to journal on top, or simply just tip it in because it's such a pretty, let's tip it in right here actually. It's such a pretty thing to see, and I'm just going to use this colorful washi tape. This one was designed by Peppercorn Arts, Connie from Peppercorn Arts, and it's very, very pretty. So I'm just going to simply tip that in there, just adding some washi tape on the edge. And let me just get my scissors here. And it's just a simple tip-in. I don't have to write on it if you don't want to. If you want to, you can add a photo on the back. Like some of them, I have photos on the back. Like this one, I have a photo on the back. Or you just tip it as is because it's really, really pretty. And also, if you're not into stamping, or if you want to try like something else with the blank pages, you can of course add watercolor to them. You can see here, this is the Hobonichi Weeks paper. I just added some watercolor. It's a little bit damp still, but you can see the beautiful colors there. You can have these ready on days like where you don't want to take out your watercolors and you just want to rip off a section and glue that in, and then you can journal on top of that. And yeah, sorry, I like to like add things in between my pages, but so for example, this week I don't think I have anything here. Oh, I do have this, but if I don't feel like adding some watercolor to these pages, but I want to add color, I can have these prepared in advance and just kind of stick them in there. Let's glue that in so that you can see what I mean. Just going to take out some washi tape here that I have prepared. I like to have these cards, washi tape cards, prepared so that I'm not fondling about looking for a washi tape. It's all prepared in the front of my cover, and I find that I use a lot more of it when it's readily available and easily accessible. I find that I use a lot more of it. So I don't want to cover too much of my daughter's drawings, or I might cover this one up. I'm not sure. I'll probably just end up writing on top of it. But let me get a brush marker and just share with you what I mean by that. I might just write something simple here. I wish the color would come out more vibrant on camera because it feels like, I feel like it's quite washed out. But yeah, if you just prepare these scraps of paper with some watercolor in advance, and there's a lot of evenings for me lately where I don't feel like taking out my watercolors. If I have these papers in advance, I could just cut them out and just stick them in like that, and I think that would be so much fun. I wonder if I have a Monday here. Oh, I don't, unfortunately, but it would be fun to just kind of stick that on there. These ones are from Courtney Diaz from Little Raven Ink. But yeah, I thought I would just get on here quickly and share with you what you could do with the blank pages that you might have sticking around in your journal. And it's just a lot of fun to have these stamped images on hand. Like this one I mentioned earlier about second generation stamping. You can stamp the image to get rid of, not to get rid of, but to transfer the majority of the ink on the initial stamp, and then you still have some ink left on the stamp. You can stamp it down so it's a lot more subdued, or it's a lot lighter, and then you can definitely journal on top of that. So I hope that's helpful, and it kind of gives you an idea of how you can use some of these empty papers that you might have lying around in the back. I hope you found that useful. If you do end up doing this fun little tutorial or fun little activity, please feel free to tag me. I am on Instagram, but I'm not on that often. I'm sorry. I try my best to log in a couple times a week, but lately it's been like once a week. I will try my best to go on there a little bit more frequently, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.